Everyone, it is not Thursday. It is actually Friday. I somehow skipped Tip Thursday. So I'm going to pretend that today is Thursday and do the tip today anyway. Who's going to say anything, right? So I wanted to show you Surfer SEO and some of the things that I do with it to increase rankings pretty fast. Now, I'm not going to show you the millions of things that are back here in Surfer SEO, and I'm not saying the things that I'm pointing out are the only things that I pay attention to, but the things that I'm pointing out today are what I use to increase rankings fast. These are the things I hit right away because it does make a difference in rankings in a dramatic, nice, impressive way. And so if you bring on a new client, this is something that I would do. It's something I do. Anyway, let me share. So first of all, I want to point out this copy shareable link I love. I actually asked the Surfer SEO team to add this, and they did. They had no problems. And it's so that I can run an audit on a potential client or someone I'm consulting with, give them the copy, the shareable link, and then they are able to see this audit. And I love how the audit's like all in red and you see these warning signs. It is really impressive to a client because they're like, I have a lot of things wrong. And all these warnings, like, yes, fix it, hurry. Like it puts a little more urgency into them. And then if I'm doing a consulting gig with somebody and I'm like, hey, let's take a look at this. This is where you went. This is where you want to improve. It's crystal clear. So here are the few things that I want to talk about. So if you take a look at true density, I love true density. It's going off of a lot of different factors I'm not going to try and mention, but they also added NLP for natural language processing and entities. And I love this entire box, this entire feature I look at fast. And here is why. Do you see this? Add 1 and the relevance score is at 100%. You're going to want to add 1. And you're going to get that to turn green. So what I do for a quick result is I take this relevance and I turn everything green from 100 all the way through 50%. You can actually do more than that if you want to be an overachiever, but I do the 100 to 50% so that I'm getting a quick boost, and then I will come back in, take a look at some of these others at 40% and lower and see if it's really relevant or something I really want to add to the site. But the 100 to 50, I just get those to turn green really quick. So whatever it tells me to add or take away, I do. Of course, if it tells you to add something super crazy like add this term 13 times, you're going to want to take a little bit of that with a grain of salt. Pay attention to your domain name. Pay attention to the competitors' domain names. So you're going to want to use your experience with every tool that we use. But I haven't had that much trouble with Surfer SEO and over optimization. It can certainly happen, but you just take your experience, mix it in with these results, and you'll come out with beautiful rankings. Most of the time, unless there's something really crazy going on in the back end, but then it just requires a little bit more work. But after you've done the 100 to 50% relevancy, take a look at your NLP all the way to the end. You're going to want to pick out the best NLPs that are related to your geographical location and related to your niche. So for instance, let me take a look real quick. For instance, tree experts, you're going to want to add or take away whatever it's telling you to do. This one says I did good. Now this isn't my site or a client site. This is just a site I found. I wanted to run it to show you guys. Business owners, I'm not really concerned with, but it was checked off green anyway. But if you look at emergency tree service, you're going to want to add this. This site has 0. Emergency tree service is super relevant within that niche and also for some of your ranking keywords. You have emergency services. I would probably take that one with a grain of salt and not worry that much about it. United States is geographical, but I tend to not worry about the United States. But you've got tree trimmers, job pruning. I don't like job pruning, but I would make sure tree pruning is correct. Certified arborist. Uh, if your client really is a certified arborist at it, don't make up lies if they're not. Curb appeal is important because what are they doing? They're fixing your trees so that your home has curb appeal. So this makes sense to me. Power lines. A lot of times tree service people are clearing the power lines. You have the San Antonio Arborist Association. If this applies, you're going to want to talk about it. Angie's List, I'm not really that concerned with. Tree service companies, you're going to want to add. Phone call, I've never been too concerned with. Tree companies, I add. Alamo Heights, this is geographical to the San Antonio location, so I'm going to make sure that turns green. This one in particular has it listed twice, and so it is green. Then you've got tree removal services, tree trimming service. Geez, this site really left off a lot of entities, a lot of terms that will actually open the site up to ranking for a lot more keywords. So I take a look at NLP, I make sure they turn green unless it's something that I don't feel is relevant or something I can't get my content writers to write about. So you're going to want to take a look and then make a judgment call. But adding these NLPs is a really, really good idea to increase rankings and also to open up for other keywords to rank for. This is like taking your subject matter and then going as deep into the subject matter as you possibly can. And it's just better writing content. It is fully talking about your subject. That's how you need to look at it. So moving along, there's something else that I take a look at that really seems to affect rankings really, really quickly. And it's these words in heading 2 through heading 6. Pop this open real quick. And you can see if your site is an outlier either way under or way over. And you're going to want to work on adjusting this number. Because if you're somewhere in the green or, not that far from the green, I don't worry about it as much in the very beginning. But like this, you are an outlier at the bottom. So you're going to want to get this raised up to kind of match what the other sites are doing. Something that is also really important is add 1 to 3 exact keywords in the body. You'll be surprised how many are using the keywords in the body and how many are not. And you can see Yelp doesn't use the keywords, but Yelp has other factors that help rank it. Angie's List, the same thing. Home Advisor does use the keywords in the body. So you're going to want to take a look at this. You want to take a look to see where you're at, what everybody else is doing, and then see if you need to make adjustments here. When it's red, I tend to pay attention and work on it to see how I want to update it. This add 1 exact keyword in the H1, I always take a look at. And this wants me to add an exact keyword in the heading tag. But if you take a look at everybody that is ranking ahead of me, nobody has it in there. So I'm not necessarily going to say you have to put this in here to turn it green. You might want to look a little bit deeper to see what is going on, what headings are they using, where is the exact match keyword. And also, you can take Home Advisor and Angie's List and Yelp out of the audit. I'm not going to show you how to do that in this video, but you can actually take these out. I didn't do it for this quick and fast tip Thursday. But you can take them out so that you're only looking at sites that are actually comparable to yours. And that is actually super helpful within the tool because things change with Yelp and Home Advisor. Like they can get away with stuff none of us can get away with. So you want to take a look at that and adjust that. And then these things that are in red, I take a look at really, really quick. And get it adjusted if it makes sense or if it's something I feel that we need to do, because a lot of times in the red, and you see it in red as it needs to be adjusted, it is priority. And if you take a look at what's in red, a lot of times fixing what's in red and then fixing the NLP and true density just helps rankings go crazy, like in the good way, not the bad way. So that is the items that I look at super, super fast, just because I can adjust it within an hour to 2 hours and then get the site crawled and then see how it all shakes out in rankings. And normally it really boosts rankings quickly. Now you're going to see it pretty dramatic. If your site is ranking like on the second page, you're going to see it move to the first page most of the time, unless you have something underlying really crazy going on. If you're on the first page towards the bottom, you're going to see it creep up more towards the top. To take over the first spots, there are going to be a lot of other things you need to do instead of just the fast issues that I'm pointing out right now. So there's a lot of these that I don't pay as much attention to, like how much is in the description box, but it's something you might really want to pay attention to. It's just something that I have not been able to adjust and then see dramatic ranking increases. So when I'm using Surfer SEO, I'm trying to just make dramatic increases. And for me, the meta description is a little bit more about click-through rate and a few other factors. So take all that and put it into your system however you want. I just wanted to show you what was going on at the back end of Surfer SEO and why I like it as much as I do. And I think I pointed out for this site some of the most issues. Missing common backlinks. This is actually a pretty cool tool. You can use Ahrefs, this one, whatever, and just kind of glance at where everyone's getting backlinks from and then add it into your plan. But True Density rocks. NLP, I can't say enough about. I absolutely love it. And then always pay attention to your heading tags, either with how many words you have in it or the types of words that you have in it. Those make quick ranking boost. Not so much of shaving down the amount of words, but paying attention to how you're using the words and paying attention to what words you have in the heading tags really can increase rankings rapidly. Exact match keywords. Sometimes you're shocked at the keywords we're actually not using in the body, even though we're trying to rank for the keyword. So this is just a really fast way to get an overall picture of what's going on the site. So the things that are in blue, I don't worry about through the first pass through the site. You can certainly nitpick all of these and see if you need to make adjustments or see if you don't need to make adjustments. And if you want to be like really, really thorough, you could turn everything in here absolutely green. Absolutely. You do whatever you want. You do you. I'll do me. So what I wanted to talk about were the fast and quick things that I check in Surfer to turn a client's rankings around really quickly. This is where I do it. This is how I do it. Now, I do look at other items, and perhaps one day I'll go through a deeper dive into Surfer SEO and how I use it. Before I close out, I'll pull up another audit. So what I did was just use the keyword tree service San Antonio, and then it pulls up everyone that is ranking. You can put your site in here to compare if it's not popping up. And then you can take an audit or a look at any of the sites that you wish. So I'll take a quick look at another one, Bartlett. And they have 5 errors and 6 warnings. Take a quick look at True Density. This is super interesting. So San Antonio, they're saying you need to add 2 to 13 more times. I probably wouldn't add it 13 times, but I would take a look to add it a handful more times. I would definitely add 2. I would look into adding 2 to 5 to see where rankings are going to go with that. Tree Service San Antonio, add 1. This is super interesting because it's at 100% relevancy. You've got San Antonio TX still at 90% relevancy, and they're asking you to remove 1 to 2. So I would pay attention to these things. Tree Services, pay attention. All the way through 50%. Same thing. Let me take a look real quick. You still got this. It looks like nobody in this that is ranking actually added the exact keywords on body, and that doesn't mean if you rank it, you'll rank, or that you have to rank it because it's suggested. It just means take a look at what the ranking sites are doing and see what you can improve on. Again, it flagged the H1, and this is interesting. This one actually flagged the title. But if you take a look, nobody is really doing it except for this site. So you have exact keywords in the title. Your page has no exact keywords in title, whilst the suggested is at least one. I always take a look at the title, and most of the time you do need an exact match or some kind of partial match. And you need to take a look at not Yelp and not Angie's List, but take a look at San Antonio Surgeons, this 1-2 tree trimming. What are they doing? What do they have in their titles? And how do you need to construct it? So this is like super fast changing stuff up, but you still need to use your experience behind all of it. You can see partial keywords with exact keyword and title. So those are just some of the things that it clues you into. You can also see that it does load time and first time to bite. There are a lot of things back here that you guys can look at. So those are the fast, quick, and few things. I don't want to make this super long and super boring, because Tip Thursday, in my opinion, should be fast, quick, and I don't know, tell you something you don't. So have a good rest of your Friday, even though we'll pretend it's Thursday. See you guys later.